Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue. We fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter. There were times when there was joy. But they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. This is your chance to understand we did not design this plan that was built for you. There's nothing you can do. This is my warning, this is your sign that you can't go running high. We will fight for you. You know it to be true. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. From the scars we made. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. Welcome to
And welcome to Nerd TV for wait, no, this is a new series. Welcome to Thursdays all on Nerd TV. We're gonna call some ARCA series action live at Daytona National Speedway for the PSRA Fixed ARCA series here tonight. So get accustomed to this scene for all the Nerd TV followers out there, and we're going to go 100 laps here, as we're going to go from sunset down to nighttime, as we have about close to 20 entries here so far in the final few minutes of this practice session as we start off the countdown to green, presented by Icon Apparel, and of course, yours truly here at Nerd TV. We're going to get the weather out of the way, take a look at what's going on here in the virtual board of Daytona. 78 degrees in the skies, 57% humidity, cloudy, which you can see that over the grandstands there off the entrance to turn number 1, and 5-mile-an-hour winds. That means absolutely nothing when it comes to super speedway racing, but there's your stats for the weathers here this evening. My name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty on the interwebs, and that's not Dustin. No, that's Colt Ainsley there. Colt, welcome to Nerd TV, man.
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, Dustin is already chiming in on his new feature, which is not having his voice heard. So, Dustin saying that he's gonna degrade himself and say Colt looks better than him already. But it's okay, man. It's okay, Dustin. You get your time to shine now behind the scenes, and it's gonna be a different routine. It's gonna be me and Colt doing this every single Thursday. We're going to go fixed racing here tonight. I think we're doing the opens, which is open sets, next Thursday. And then we're just going to be full sending it on the Thursday fixed series. And we're going to just kind of talk about some things here, see how these cars react, see how they look around the track. We don't have any stats. It's a new series. It's a new everything. So, Colt, you ready for 100 laps?
I'm ready for it. These are a lot of really good guys. A lot of them I've raced with for a long time. I thought it'd be fun to come up here and broadcast the fix, so I didn't have to get down in the messy business and kind of learn some things for the open.
There you go. Yeah, you are going to be racing on the open side of things, so you can definitely learn. I heard there was up to a 10-mile-an-hour difference between the open and the fixed setup. So, knowing that, what could you learn from being in the broadcast booth with that speed discrepancy there?
Racing around other cars is going to be kind of the same. It's just going to be in the open. It's going to be a little bit more exaggerated. These cars are very side force affected by when you're in the draft, as well as the push. The push is going to be the big thing tonight. You can master that without wrecking the guy in front of you, which is very, very, very easy to do. You're going to be going to the front, and the side force, when you jump out of line, taking a run, it will pull a guy with you. You've got to go up 2 lanes if you want a chance at not getting bored going down the straightaway or even in the corner. The side draft is so heavy, it will pull that car a full car width over. It's ridiculous.
They got a tower in the back of the car, aka the spoiler thing. Just, yeah, it's a parachute out there, and so it creates a lot of side drafting, and it'll be displayed well in effect here this evening. We got about a minute left in this practice session before our cameras go off screen, so we're just going to kind of go over Nerd TV stuff. I see we got 8 viewers currently, and I'm not sure if those are followers or new people to the channel, but the chats will be open on YouTube. I have that text group open all the time, so if you just want to chime in, have some fun, if you want to be an interrace reporter, if you want to tell us we suck, if you want to tell us to add stuff, if you want to tell us, you know, how refreshing it is to not have Dustin's voice in your ear on Thursdays, let us know. Let us know in the YouTube chat right over there, and I'll be glad to shout it out. And but profanity is kind of toned down on the YouTube side, so I have the power to approve or disapprove a message. So have fun with it, guys. You got 7 right now. It's fluctuating between 7 and 8. And top of the board, top 5 in practice. And we have Frank Giffett in the 54, Chase Rockford in the 71, James Benge in the 32, Mike Babin, I'm going to butcher these so bad, Babinchak in the 55, and then Peyton Wagoner in the 8. That's your top 5. And there is checker flags, Colt. We are done in practice. We're going to go to qualifying with a 5-minute session, 2 laps, before we turn these things loose for 100 green flag laps here at Daytona. We're going to get our cameras off your guys' screen. And just like traditional Nerd TV ways, we are going to ride along with the fastest guy in practice. And that is the 54 of Frank Giffett. He's rolling off. through turns 1 and turn 2. I think you can go full throttle, Colt. Is that can you go full throttle here on the apron here to start off your qualifying?
It's very sketchy and also weather dependent. A lot of times I end up kind of seesawing between the brake and the throttle, but getting that launch out of the flat apron onto the backstretch, that's the key to getting your momentum built up for a fast lap. There's a lot of different strategies I've seen for guys who run qualifying laps here. A lot of guys like myself, we like to get up around that seam or above those lines and run our warm-up lap and our lap 1 up there. And then after that, you got to get down and paint that yellow line. But I've seen some guys that as soon as they take the green flag, they'll drop down to the bottom. It's just all a matter of who's going to build up that momentum first. Looks like Frank's going to do just that, get right to the bottom.
Yeah, this is part of the learning experience that you get to have up here in the booth versus being in the car. Of course, you can learn in the car, absolutely, right? But you may not pick up on some things when you're sitting in the cockpit versus getting these fancy TV camera angles around this track. And Frank, obviously, that was a weird one. He goes to the bottom on the backstretch and then goes up half the track. That was a very interesting approach, don't you think?
I didn't see exactly what he did, but it's possible he clipped the apron and maybe wanted to just throw that lap away while not losing momentum. Momentum is very important, especially how small these engines are compared to the Cup cars, especially the Gen 6 Cup cars. But it looks like he lined back up on the bottom, so maybe he just kind of was letting the wheel open up and drifting up. I know you can do that, but it did seem a little bit abrupt.
As he is 1 lap and done, he's coasting it. You get 2 laps, Frank. I don't know if he realizes that, but he is 1 and done. You said some people go for it on the first, but he's not even going to try the lap number 2. As we're going to jump to the YouTube chat real quick. Elevated Esports, Ryan Chapman, driver of the number 11 here tonight. Currently saying, glad to be back racing on Nerd TV. Love y'all boys. Ryan Chapman. So Ryan, welcome to the broadcast here. 9 current live on YouTube alone here. As we have about 9 times posted right now. The fastest guy so far, David Bradford in the 13, who's on his 2nd lap. And as we're kind of cycling through some drivers here, we got Scott Martin on track. We got James Polsky on track, Derek Runge, Vincent Short, and the guy that's on your camera right now, I think that's going to be the driver. There you go, Ryan Chapman. There he is. It took my camera a minute to focus on his car and catch up on Dustin's feed, but there we are. He is now on his 2nd lap, and we're going to cycle through these guys as they post their times there, Colt.
Yeah, David Bradford immediately up to the top of the board. I didn't expect anything less. I was a little surprised seeing him in the zeros with that 51.87. Chase Rockford laying down a pretty solid lap there as well. They're gonna, looks like Chase Rockford might not have had his time registered, but these guys are really trying to keep it smooth down there on the bottom, and I lost my feed there for a second. Trying to keep it around the bottom and just keep that wheel as smooth and as open as possible. Keep the tires from scrubbing as much as possible. Keep the wheel open. That's how you're going to build speed. How you're going to build momentum. I'm curious to see how many of these guys decide to dip down below the apron. That is legal. It looks like like they're going to be right here. Predicting the future here.
Questions answered. Vincent Short going to take it there for his 1st lap, all the way to the bottom, gets P2 as Derek Runge takes the top spot. Vincent Short going to take 2nd momentarily here, as he is going to attempt his 2nd time around this track, as we have just had a half a minute left. He will be able to complete this time, and one of the last guys to post their final times as he's cutting the time real short. Rodney Roberts in car number 9, he's on track. And Derek Welch is done. He's backing it down. So it's just 2 guys left. Rodney Roberts and Vincent Short here, both coming off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Vince Short's a very good qualifier here at Daytona. Very smooth on the throttle. Rodney Roberts is a good racer. I've raced with him a couple of times in our open test setups, or test sessions, I should say. And he looks like he locks it in at about 5th place. So good solid qualifying for both of those guys.
22 entries, 16 guys have posted time. And we are going live to grid here momentarily as these guys get set up for 100 laps for the ProSim Racing Alliance Fixed ARCA Series. And here we go. Starting lineup for tonight's race. Derek Runge, P1, second place on the outside. Vincent Short. Row 2 and third will be David Bradford. And who is outside in fourth, Chase Rockford. Row 3 is going to find Rodney Roberts in fifth, James Polsky in sixth. Row 4 will be Frank Gifford in seventh, Scott Martin in eighth. And row 5, Bobby Hamilton Jr. to his outside in 10th, Alan DeFries. 11th place in row 6 will be James Binge. 12th place, Ryan Chapman. Row 7 will find Mike Babinchak. And then 14th place, Peyton Wagner. 15th place will be Brandon Schumann. 16th, Derek Welch. And then the last 6 guys, they're going to not post time in qualifying, will be sorted by their I ratings from highest to lowest. That'll be Dominic Bettany. It'll be Thomas Pannell, Thomas McMullen, Aaron Longworth, Keenan Kimber, and Jason Steptoe for the last guy to take the green flag here this evening.
Yeah, it looks like a handful of guys decided to just kind of sit back and see if they can just ride in the back for the start of the race, not even worry about posting a time. I'm not sure that strategy works as good as it used to, but we're about to find out. Thomas McMullen's a pretty good drafting racer, and he did the same thing. I want to see how they're going to line up. I want to see how quickly a car can move through the field. We'll see. I mean, there's an advantage to starting in the back like that, but the problem with starting in the back is you've got to get through the hornet's nest to get there to the front.
Yeah, my question is, we do a lot of super speedway stuff. Particularly Dustin loves the super speedway, so I kind of like just follow along with him. And we run at a league every Wednesday, and he runs on Saturdays too. Let me backtrack. We broadcast on Wednesdays, we race on Saturday, then he also races on the Monday, all super speedway. And my question is, how is the outside, the third lane, going to work in the ARCA cars? Doesn't really work too well in the trucks, depending on who you got following you. Xfinity works pretty okay, but I'm not too sure on the ARCA side. So, Colt, do you have any insight on how the third lane might be approached here tonight?
I don't think the third line's going to really form unless they really get to pushing or somebody's lagging back. You know how the Cup guys will save fuel. I don't think that's going to be the case tonight. I think these guys are going to be full onto the floor. It really would only work if you're taking a run. If there's a big run coming from the back, 2 cars get linked together, maybe 3 cars get linked together, you can form a third line. But once that third line forms, another line is going to dissolve, whether it be from the side draft or just losing cars going from one lane to another. So you might see it momentarily, but I don't think it's going to be sustained.
10-4 on that there, and let's see if Dustin has the graphic here for race information for this race before we take it off to green flag. Fixed setups, 100% fuel load, unlimited tires, no fasties, 1 green-white checker, and lucky dog / wave arounds are in effect. That is the race information for this evening. Colt, we're going to get ready to start off the ProSim Racing Alliance ARCA Fix Series in just one more corner. Let's hope this season goes off with a bang. Hopefully we have a lot of fun. Hopefully everyone watching YouTube is going to enjoy it. And here we go. Pace car is going to come down. Derek Runge, throttle at the ready until they get to the Geico restart zone. 3, 2, 1, green flag. This series is officially underway. So you got one guy starting from the pits there, the black and red car. He's going to elect to go 1 lap down early here, at least, or he will anyways if they stay green for a good chunk of the opening part of this race. 99 Derek Grunge is going to take a sole advantage of the lead momentarily until Vincent Short gets there to the outside as they give a ton of space down the back straightaway here. 15 has the 93 following him, almost gets the 99 cleared. Back off on turn number 3, advantage to the inside lane. Derek Runge with the 13 of David Bradford. As they're going to come off of turn number 4. Dead heat to the start-finish line to lead lap number 1.
David Bradford's going to be one of the most stable pushers you're going to see all night long. If you get him behind you and he sticks with you, you are going to go to the front. He will push you, and he knows where to push, where not to push, and he's even got the knack to be able to push where you're not supposed to and not wreck you, something that I lack very heavily. Vincent Short hanging tough on the outside. He is one guy who will make the top side work. Even if he is losing ground, he will stay up there and fight and just harass you the whole time just to make his line work. And eventually it pays off for him. He'll get more cars built up behind him.
You'll see how he's going to lead the outside right now. But yeah, they are dropping off like a rock. I don't know if Vincent lifted a little bit there, but it's going to allow 1, 2, 3 cars on the inside to go single file on the front straightaway to complete lap number 2. Right now it's going to be the 99. Derek Runge going to take the second lap as well. He's going to bring the 13, David Bradford, and the 9 of Rodney Roberts with him in that Casey Kane throwback, and the 55 for that matter, Mike Babinchak. He's going to be sitting up there P4 as they got a little separation going on before 5th and 6th, and everybody else is 2-on-2 all the way through.
Well, it looks like we got a second pack forming up. A couple of guys are lagging back, probably on purpose, trying to avoid the mess that's eventually going to show up, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. is leading that pack, being pushed by the 52, Brandon Schumann. They're going to be patient. They're going to sit back and watch and see what unfolds in front of them. If they have any green flag pit stops, they're going to really work together on that. As long as they can stay lined up, they'll and not be the caution that they're trying to avoid. Is Schumann is wobbling behind the 25.
We've got the RaceEPI.com race telemetry going on right now on Bobby Hamilton Jr., the driver, the number 25. Looking at his speeds as he's leading that second pack, like you mentioned, he's getting just a bumper full of the 52 of Brandon Schumann here. Is these guys have taken a really, really conservative approach, very cautious like. The top 5 are single file, which is kind of bizarre to me early on. You got the 93. Oh, there goes the number 8. He's going to jump up to the outside lane. Peyton Wagner. He's going to try to tow the 93 with him of James Polsky. See if they can't make any more momentum. But at this time, it's just a lot of space given up. 2 packs already formed out. Very, very cautious opening laps here to start off this season.
Well, those no fast repairs are going to really be playing on these guys' minds. They're not going to want to... Looks like we're trying to go 3 wide already. As I said, being
here we go. Now the 32. James Binge on his door panel. Oh man, as they still piling in here. 6, 7 cars involved in this one. No fast repairs. You've already talked about it. And now some of these guys are potentially out of the race already on lap number 5 as you kick it over to the Nerd TV replay to take a second and third look at this thing. And it looks like 3 wide, not playing the part. 32 going to cross over the 93's nose, drifts up into the number 8 there, Peyton Wagner. And then there's Vincent going to get piled in there. The 071, Alan DeFries, he's going to find his way in there. And this is not it. This is the first 5, Colt, as 1 or 2 other drivers come in here late.
Yeah, Bobby Hamilton Jr. misses Peyton Wagner here by just inches. Oh my goodness, and 42, nowhere to go. That is such a heartbreaking thing. Aaron Longworth, like I said, they were just going to ride back there, be conservative, and who's at the 52 just dodges the 32 rolling up on his lid. That's a weird sight to see, but man, some tough brakes early on. Vincent Short got a significant amount of damage on the front of that car. Hopefully it's not engine damage. If it's aero, he might be able to repair it enough to be have it usable again.
Dustin hit the Dirt TV rewind button there. But I would like to see how that car was halfway through the other cars. We're going to jump on the Oakley visor cam, go on board here with maybe 1 or 2 of these drivers. There's the hook. There's the wall ride. This is the 32 right now on board. And he's just going to grind all the way until he goes completely turtle. He never rolls back over, so if the car is able to compete, he at least has to endure a 2 to 3 minute tow before they can even repair the car. So he's going to go 1 to 2 laps down easy as all the drivers find pit road here to start off this thing. And to notate, Aaron Longworth, the 42 that came in late, he was the last car to cross the line that prior lap. So even if you're first to last, looked like you were just a part of the victim of the big one early on.
Yeah, it looked like he just kind of zigged when the 32 was sliding down. I'm sorry, the 8 was sliding down in front of him. Watching the replay ahead as we're looking on the 42 here, man, just you cannot see out in front of you, and then the cars scatter. You see smoke, fenders flying everywhere, and just, man, right into his lap. Nothing he could have done.
Yeah, he thought they had the safe line until they washed down, and then you just hope you chose the right lane, and that was clearly not the case for the 42. Aaron Longworth has backed out of the session. James Benge also in the 32. He's backed out of the session. So 2 cars completely totaled and out of this race. That's going to leave 20 others. But we don't know what the damage was for the rest of them. So we'll see if there's going to be guys that are just going to be logging laps for the remainder of this race. We'll see if they get their things repaired. Remember, no fast repairs, so that is not a tool to utilize here. I see Patrick Davis. He chatted a while back on the YouTube side saying, "Go V short." That must be for Vincent Short. And is Dustin in my ear talking about Vincent Short driver cam. There he is. Caffeine team. Vincent Short he is grimace face.
Thrilled.
No, he is holding his breath. He is not happy about this. And there he goes. He's finally going to roll. Pace car is almost to pit entrance, so he's waiting his max amount of time before he came off pit road. We'll see what that repair looks like.
And Vince is rightfully upset with that. I mean, it was, lap 6, and they're already piling up. It didn't look like anybody did anything inherently wrong. They were 3 wide. And looking back at that, it had every bit of that side draft I was talking about. Forget who jumped to the middle, but when he got to the middle there, it just immediately sucked the 32 up to him. You could see in the replay, he is turning left the whole time. Even before he gets hooked, he is turning left, and the car is just continuously going right. And it's just floating on the pavement is really all it was. You see him try to get that side draft, and I mean, he is just fighting the car, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then after that, he gets run over from behind by Pinnell, and just it's on from there. And that's not Pinnell's fault either. I mean, I don't think he should have been in the middle there that early unless he was trying to cool his engine down. But yeah, that's a really unfortunate situation, and tore up a lot of really good race cars.
Learned a little bit about the ARCA hitbox there too, as James was halfway through the 93's car, like just completely inside of it. So it's kind of curious on how that damage physics works with these things. And it's the first time I've seen an ARCA car go tipsy-turvy at Daytona. But Colt, we're less than half a lap away before we're going to go back to green flag racing, resuming this thing on lap 9. Top 5, Derek Runge, Rodney Roberts, Derek Welch, Mike Babinchak, and Scott Martin. Person from Icon Apparel Company, running the P5. He's our long-term sponsor for Nerditudes. Probably, 3+ years going on that Scott has helped the nerds out and vice versa. So if you're looking to get your latest apparel for your any team, whether it be esports or in the real world, visit iconapparelcompany.com. Sign up, get your stuff ordered. It is a great product. Go check them out. And here we go. Green flag back underway. The 99 Derek Runge with an excellent start as the 9 quickly drops in right in front of the 1 of Derek. So they're going to be top 3 are going to be single file. As we're going to go Space Panda drone cam. Cool.
I think we're going to see these guys really be patient now. They already had their fun. Lap 5 tore up a lot of cars. I think they're really going to start minding their P's and Q's. Even if they run double file, they're just going to not be pushing, not be doing anything crazy. They want to make it to the end of this race. They already see 2 guys out of the race, out of the session, and a lot of guys with damaged race cars. Now, the flip side to that, the more damaged race cars that you are not a part of, the bigger chance you have to make it to the end and win this thing.
Absolutely correct. Peyton Wagner, also the driver, has recently backed out of the session. Was 3 wide, 2/3 of the way into the field momentarily. The 93 dips back down to the inside lane, goes back to 2x2x2. So 3 entries out, 19 left in this race as we exit the Space Panda drone cam and go back to TV coverage.
I said they're going to be patient, but they're already trying to wreck each other again. That top line, somebody scraped the wall pretty hard. Going 3 wide.
Smoke off the wall. You see it. Oh, there it is. Colt Ainsley calls the wreck here. The second big one of the night. These guys are Colt. We're 10 laps in. We got 2 massive wrecks, no fast repairs. This time it's going to be involved James Polsky, 071 of Alan DeFries, the 13 of David Bradford, and quite a bit of others. Let's walk this through this.
That was just a lot of things happening all at once, man. Again, it looks like the 25 got sucked down to Alan DeFries, the 71, and just a hard hit for him. Catches David Bradford. 2 of really my picks, Bobby Hamilton and David Bradford. And looks like 71 Chase Rockford gets in there. Man, the whole back half of the field, several hard hits. Bobby takes a second hard hit.
I seen you get crunched up in there.
I am shocked at how quickly we're having this much carnage.
Yeah, it's kind of wild here. This wreck, I thought that first wreck was going to be like the biggest one. But then the second one says, hey, you know what? We're going to be a little bit better as far as number count goes, the drivers. And now, Colt, in these cars at Daytona, which I've only partaked in 1 race in these, so I'm not too sure. You said you got the 25 Bobby Hamilton Jr. got sucked down into that door panel of the 071. Is that quite a common occurrence for these ARCA cars to feel that pressure, or do you think maybe Bobby decided to lean on the 071's door panel to maximize the side draft?
I think it's a combination of both, but to answer your first question, yes, it is super common that these things. Oh, all right, well they're going to fight on pit road. It's a super common occurrence. These things have such a big spoiler, such a stiff nose on them. They punch such a big hole in the air that when you get 2 cars side by side, it just creates a vacuum, like a full pocket of negative pressure. And typically it's the bottom car that gets pulled up, but I have seen on occasion where the top car will get pulled down, especially if that top car, Bobby in this case, was trying to get down to side draft, maybe got a little too much. When he got down there, it created that negative pressure bubble, and it started to pull Alan up to him, and just nowhere for either one of them to go at that point. Again, you're just floating on the pavement. No control.
Now, I was actually taking a secondary look, too, on my end here of that wreck, and I think Alan DeFries in the 071 probably had more blame to put on himself. We saw Bobby come down the track, yes, and then he stationed out. And then the 071 just kind of goes from the double yellow line and goes up about a half a car length to the outside to find the right or left front fender of Bobby Hamilton is. We got some more disconnects here. Looked like Bobby Hamilton Jr. disconnected, James Polsky, Alan DeFries, and David Bradford. So quite a bit of the drivers out on this one entirely. Too much damage to repair. Dustin's got us on Nerd TV replay from a chopper perspective or a blimp perspective. Watch the 071. He's going to tag this yellow line. Bobby's going to come down. And the 71 then starts to shoot up the track before the contact was even had.
Well, seeing that now, the 55 was in another lane and just kind of came down a little bit. Not anything aggressive or egregious. Man, that's a hard hit for the 13. He just kind of came down, and I don't know if Alan didn't want to lift to risk being run over, or if I don't know what maybe he thought he could line back up with the 55, but I think that hurt his momentum quite a bit. And then another spot of where you kind of lose the nose is directly behind another car. When you burst that bubble on their rear bumper, you do kind of lose the nose a little bit. It gets a little wobble. Tough break for both of them.
Yeah, 10-4 on that there. As we're going to go 1 lap to green here. Is the top 5 now is Mike Babinchak, Derek Runge, Rodney Roberts, Derek Welch, and Scott Martin. That's who I'm showing right now as your current top 5. On the SDK live timing, I do have a total of 13 cars on track, 3 on pit road, and then 6 disconnects. So that's your current stats right now. As we have the one to go, we're going to thank one of our partners, It doesn't have a rotating commercial break here on Nerd TV. And the first one I'm going to bring you shouting out is Victory Fuel. DrinkVictory.com. This drink is a 12-ounce can full of vitamins for your daily health. And there's no caffeine and no artificial colors. So this drink is good for the entire family. And it's just healthy, great tasting, 3 flavors. Purple Potion being my favorite. Lucky Lemon, and then Throttle Punch is your 3 total flavors, which is Dustin Logston's favorite. And so go to drinkvictory.com. Whenever you make that purchase, you're going to use that checkout code SUPERNERD. It's going to save you 10% on your order. And Colt, we're going to go back to green flag, this time resuming on lap 14. We still have 87 laps to go.
It's going to be a long 87 laps. If hopefully these guys will get it together. I have a feeling that the other Discord channel, where the admins of the series who were wrecked out on lap 15, probably got a tongue lashing, or gave a tongue lashing for everybody else. So hopefully they're going to line themselves up. They'll get their P's and Q's sorted. There's still a couple of good race cars out there, a couple of really good drafters. Got DW Derek Welch up there. Thomas McMullen just kind of lurking there in the back.
Green flag is back out on lap 14. The 55, Mike Babinchak gets a great launch there. He's going to bring the 99. Derek Runge with him. Top 3 single file as he got the 9 on the inside of the 52 here. As we're setting off into turn 1 and turn 2. 3 cars to the top now. The one's going to follow. Go right back to the bottom real quick there. They're going to leave the 52 out to dry. He's going to have 2 other cars right behind him. Now 3 as the 9 scoots his way back in. 4 on the top, everybody else on the bottom as they go to 3.
That looked like a coordinated effort there between the 99 and the 1. Even if they're different manufacturers, different teams, I have a feeling they might have worked together in the past, whether it be in practice or otherwise. And they worked their way up to the front and got back in line. But it looks like the top line's pushing, and that revolving door that is going to be the leading position is starting to move.
Car scrapes the wall on the exit of the trial over there to complete lap 14. Now onwards to lap 15. The number 9, Rodney Roberts, is going to take the lead momentarily. He's going to have the 50 of Jason Steptoe right behind him. Welcome to the top 3, car number 50, who started dead last in this thing. 15 laps in. He's P2 at the moment. It looks like we got 4 on the top, 7 on the bottom. 2 cars, struggling really far in the back of the field through damage for the first 2 big ones here this evening.
Dominic Bettini kind of shot up really wide there for a second and slowed a lot of his momentum. I don't know if he was just trying to back up to the 52 or if he might have had a moment there.
Yeah, not too sure there. 5 on the top now, 6 on the bottom. A little bit of a gap between the 55 and the car right behind him of the 02. That being Thomas McMullen. This is a very interesting start of this race, especially this restart, Colt. Like, look at all the lane moving that's going on. It's been 6 versus 4, then it goes 3 versus 7, and then just like that, they all decided, let's go single file. And then probably the next few laps, we're probably going to see, a lot of 2x2. It's just, there's been so much movement here to start this thing off.
I think they all knew that once they got single file, they're probably going to sit like that for a little bit. So they wanted to get where they were going to be and get whatever positions they could get while they could. Because once you get single filed out like that, it's going to be pretty difficult to get 3 or 4 guys together to try to break up another lane. Because you could, if you go to start a second lane, you could gain 3 or 4 spots. Or you could also lose 5 or 10 spots. Whereas if you stay in line when that other guy goes, you immediately get 1 spot free, and everybody else moves up that chain once. So looks like the top line's starting to form there, but look who is still in the pack with a little bit of damage. You got the 15 of Vincent Short. Obviously his damage must not have been too bad, and he is still hunting for this thing, stuck behind his old buddy Thomas McMullen.
Yeah, he got that nose buffed out pretty well there. On the back straightaway, Scott Martin's going to bring Ryan Chapman to the outside, and then just like that, that's going to promote the 59, Dominic Bettany. He's going to jump up there. Now the 52 is Brandon Schumann. He's going to go up there. So now just like that, 4 cars to the outside. Oh, the 50
go again.
The 59 is going to cross over the 02's nose. Dominic Bettany. The flight pattern is full. As I'm going to take that from Dustin there, and that's going to set off the third caution on lap 18. It's going to involve another, 4 to 5 drivers here?
Oh, and that is just a push gone wrong. The 67 right up behind the 59 there, and right in the center of the corner at the worst possible spot, he hits him. It looks like he keeps it straight there, you see the wheel starting to turn. And just right down into Thomas McMullen's lap, and Vincent Short, I was just talking about him.
Yeah, just a bad bump. Scott Martin goes right into the 59 of Dominic Bettany, and that's going to send the 02 up the track. Thomas McMullen then is going to collect the 52 of Schumann as they start to scatter now at the very exit of turn 2. So it looks like there's Vincent. I don't know how much damage he got, but 4 to 5 cars with damage for this wreck round.
He hit the wall pretty hard. I don't know how. If his engine was good last time, it's definitely not good now. That's for sure. I don't know about Thomas McMullen. He had a kind of soft hit, maybe some aero damage, but I think his engine might be okay. Man, that's just the danger of pushing in the center of the corner. If you can do it right, you will be fast. But if you do not do it absolutely perfect, if you make one single mistake, that car will be turned around and in your lap, and you'll be staring that other driver in the face before you know it.
Could not figure it out all in practice there, and I guess some unknowns are still to be had, still to be found. These guys are going to go on pit road for one more time. We're going to go to our first picture-in-picture commercial break. We'll be back for the green flag here momentarily.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful, booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy Jerky, the original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
Welcome back to Nerd TV as we have a half a lap left before we're going to set these things off one more time for green flag. I see in the YouTube chats, Diane Chapman, welcome back, saying, yeah, Ryan Chapman. And then Jonna Dude says, are these real ARCA cars or are they custom liveries for the sim racing series? Well, custom. They are custom. You have the option to run accurate ones or fictional or whatever you want. So... And then they asked if someone playing as Cletus McFarland. No, there is not a kinetic number 30 out here. I do apologize. But we have some good looking cars out here nonetheless. Some are spec maps, some are not. Some are created by myself, aka the 67. Some are, they look generic, like the TRD number 1 of Derek Welch. So that's what we got here. We have a whopping total of, 10 or 11 cars going to be fielding this restart. As the number 9, Rodney Roberts. Number 1, Derek Welch is going to be the outside. Car number 2 here, pace car down, throttle at the ready, and a green flag. Rodney Roberts, good start with the 99 Derek Run. She's going to bring him and possibly the 55 and 50 as they might... Nope, the number 1, Derek Welch, able to squeeze in quickly. Colts, single file.
Immediately they went to single file. They wanted nothing to do with having cars run side by side. They have just got to log laps at this point. DW Derek Welch, I mean, he did not even have an outside lane. I don't know what happened to his whole line on the restart there, but from one camera angle, they were all gridded up, and the next thing I know, he was on an island by himself, and he had to shoehorn his way into the line. It's a good thing he did it before they got through the gears, or he would have went straight to the back.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And so it's going to be a very clean, easy start here. We're on lap 22, headed toward lap 23 right now. Rodney Roberts still leading the thing with the 99. Number 1, 55, and 50. Currently your numbers that are inside the top 5. Running single file here on the bottom. And this is what I'm going to expect, Colt. A lot of just very single file, let's just log some laps style racing right now. Because we have, 78 laps to go. And we have half our field with us. So really just need to get these laps logged down.
Well, this will be good for these guys because a lot of them are new to the PSRA series. And as some people know, some people don't, we have an open series that we run, and that's kind of our premier series. That's our Cup series. That's where we run the same cars. We run the ARCA car, but it's an open setup, and that is where the best of the best go. A lot of these guys aren't in that series. They've got to earn their way in. They've got to show out tonight and throughout the season to earn their way into that series, to get drafted by team owners, to find a place of their own that they can work with other drivers. And so I think they've got to button down. They've got to just run laps. They've got to learn to trust each other. That's the biggest thing about smaller leagues like ours. A lot of the older guys have ran together for so long. They have built trust. They know how to run. Oh, Thomas McMullen loose already.
3 wide. We see what this story looks like already.
Oh, 11 in the wall. 4 wide. Oh, they kept it together.
Ryan Chapman finds the wall glue. He's going to lose the draft. And he's going to have to just play qualifying laps here. So I was kind of listening into Ryan Chapman. He did come on the radio and said he was sorry. That was on him. And so now he's just going to be logging some laps here all by his lonesome. But go ahead.
He did the right thing there. He held it up against the wall. He didn't try to jerk the car off the wall. And if he'd have done that, he'd have come down and hit 3 or 4 guys. That's the kind of thing that these guys have to learn to do, is when you make a mistake, you got to pay the consequences. And he got up in the wall and he did the right thing. He held it straight to the wall, let everybody get past, then came down. And honestly, he didn't hit the wall that hard. It's just you immediately start scrubbing speed. And right now, these guys are wide open in a single file line, the fastest they're going to be all night. And so that's what cost him as much as it did.
Yeah, very well said there. You caused the problem. You just take it and drop back without causing anybody else some issues. As there's the number 11 of Ryan Chapman. He's going to pick up Scott Martin there in the 67 as he has picked up him in the next lap or so. And then we have another group of 2 cars. Chase Rockford in the 71 and the 65 of Keen and Kimber. Those 2 guys are 2.5 seconds roughly out, as they're going to pass a really slow car there on the top there. That's the number 59 on Dominic Bettany. A lot of damage still to repair on that car. I don't know if he can even continue at that rate of speed. And then you have your top 6. Those guys are all single file on the front straightaway here to complete lap 26 onwards to lap 27. I'm on a 26-hour fast, and of course the 02 is sponsored by Krispy Kreme. I've seen a Reese's car out here. My stomach's a talking, Colt.
Thomas McMullen in that Krispy Kreme. He has been in the. Seems like it's been in the middle of every wreck tonight, and somehow his car looks spotless. I don't know what he did, but he's just quietly hanging back there. He's one of the veterans of the series, back from, back in the SCAR days. For anybody who, if you know, you know, he's just gonna quietly sit back here and watch, see how these new guys that he hasn't raced around as much have, how they run, how they stay in line, pick who his dancing partner later on in the race is gonna be, and maybe fix his connection too. He's been fighting that for a while. I can make fun of him because he's done it right in front of me a couple times, but he's just gonna, like everybody else, log laps, and he's at the back of the line. So if they do wreck, he's got the most room, and he doesn't have to worry about getting run over from behind.
Yeah, he's been blinking all night long. I have noticed that. The 02, Thomas McMullen, just kind of, if you will, lagging back here in this group of 6 cars, as Vincent Short is going to take the inside approach, going to let all the drivers pass by. He will try to merge, I think, on the exit of turn 4, but that car was not running fast at all either, so took the safe route to the inside. Job well done from Vincent. And we're going to thank another one of our partners without a rotating commercial break, and it's going to be Dusty Pete's. Dusty Pete's Gifts and Collectibles. They're a local shop based out of New York, and they have many things nerdy. They have over 1,000 comic books to choose from, all sorts of your favorite collectible trading cards, whether it be Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Disney's Lorcana, and so much more. So, and Magic the Gathering, you can't forget them. So, that, and they got action figures. They have NASCAR diecasts, all in a local shop. So if you want to head yourself over to DustyPete's.com after this race today, use your promotion code SUPERNERD. It'll save you 15% of your purchase online of $20 or more.
I heard NASCAR diecast and Pokemon cards. You got my attention.
There we go. I think we like Colt. We have a Pokemon collection here. I have a crazy amount of cards myself from the last few years. Dustin's collection, he said he's still waiting on his. It is in that same closet with all my other ones at the moment. So
you're keeping it for safekeeping, right?
Yeah, exactly. See, Colt's coming back, Dustin. Somebody's got Dustin's back. That's right. Absolutely. So 30 laps down into the books here, and 100% fuel load, Colt. So that's going to give us what, about close to 30 laps on a full tank, roughly?
Something like that. I wish I had to run a full fuel load, or a full fuel run. I did not, however. Looks like the 55 might have got a little hot sitting there in line. He jumps out of line there. I feel like these guys might really be wanting to keep an eye on their fuel gauge. And with everybody lining up the way they are, man, I'm feeling as soon as you get in your window, peel off into pit road, try to get as many guys with you as possible. Whatever decision Rodney Roberts up there in the front makes, I have a feeling everybody else will follow him. So if he decides to pit early and try to make it to the end, or if he tries to run it dry, at this rate, I don't know what the use of that would be. For me, I feel like you would want to get on pit road, get it over with, and then run the rest of the race out at the rate they're going. But who knows? They might start spice it up a little bit, get side by side again, and maybe they'll want to try their hand in changing up their pit strategy.
Yeah, with only 6 cars, you got to be kind of in communication with one another. Because if you pit and you're with 2 cars, and then the next pack comes down to 4, I would imagine, at a disadvantage. As long as the 4 cars stay single file, the 2 cars won't compete unless they have a really good stop. As these 6 continue just to roll through the track here, single file, no passing attempts at all. They're just straight up, I'm following you, I'm going to follow you all the way through. Cycling back through, though, we have Ryan Chapman did hook up with Scott Martin, and they are now closing in on Vincent Short. Vincent has given him the inside lane to make the pass. Let's see if he has enough speed to maybe tag along to the back of these guys. Can't tell at the moment. Now they're passing the 71. Lap down driver. Chase Rockford. Is that Chase Rockford? That's Chase Rockford. He's not a lap down. He's currently P8. So
he lost the 67, I believe. They were buddied up a while ago. I don't know. 65, I'm sorry. They were buddied up a while ago. I don't know if maybe he had a moment or if Chase has got some damage on that nose. But he seems to have lost the draft. Vince, I believe he's hooked onto the back of them though. So at least they'll be able to start grouping back up together. I feel like that might start to pull those back markers back together. The more cars they get lined up, the better. And they might be able to start equaling out to the leaders on their speed.
Yeah, they had a moment here in turn 2. Look at this Nerd TV replay. There's that bumping in the center of the corner. Slight offset, squared. Even if you're squared up.
Oh my goodness.
It almost turned 71 to Chase Rockford.
What a save for Chase.
Yeah, that was a very impressive. He was almost 90 degrees 90 degrees turned to the side there on the infield and saved it. Able to keep up with everything, and it's kind of wild. Even the flush bumps, one little bad grab. These bumpers are not completely flat; they're rounded on the front, so I guess that plays into a factor of doesn't matter how soft or how hard you hit the guy in front of you, you have a chance of going around.
And the worst part is there is no warning, none whatsoever. If you're pushing a guy and you're leaned up against him, you could do nothing wrong. Not change anything, no throttle fluctuation, no brake input, no wheel input, and just like that, snap of your fingers, he's around and landed in your lap. No warning whatsoever. You can have instances where you're pushing somebody and you get offset to them, but there's no winning pushing in the corners if you do not know how to do it absolutely perfectly. And most of these guys, it seems, don't do that. So your best bet is don't push in the corners. Lean back, push on the straightaway, push at the 85 to 95% mark on the corner. That's where you're going to build your speed. Don't worry about the corners. Lose time in the corners to keep the car straight.
Well said there. We're currently on lap 34 here, or 36 rather, of our scheduled 100 laps. We're going to take another quick picture-in-picture, and we'll be right back.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful, booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy jerky. The original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
back to full screen here. Currently on lap number 42 of our scheduled 100 laps. We're approaching to the halfway mark, and the top 6 still just keeping it nose to tail, logging their laps like they should be. They had a couple of really big crashes early on, and the no fast repairs kind of set them for a small pack. And so why race each other when you know you have basically the top 6 guaranteed? And Colt, this is what they're doing.
Nothing else you can do. You just got to sit in line and wait. There's not enough cars to move anywhere, and honestly, they're probably all a little bit gun shy of wanting to go anywhere. They just sit here and get within your fuel window, and hope for being able to have a fast pit stop, take a little less fuel than somebody else. You might be able to hop the line a little bit. A thought I did have that I've been paying attention to is in this series, there are teams and there are manufacturer alliances throughout that, even if you're not directly related team-wise. And those front 2 cars, they're both blue ovals. They're Fords. Thomas McMullen's sitting back there in Fords, but there's not a alignment of other manufacturers that have survived. Looks like 2 Chevys sitting in line and 1 Toyota. They might have to band together and shake hands with the enemy to eventually work against these Fords. As I believe if you're not looking out for yourself, you're definitely going to want to look out for your manufacturer.
Yeah, we don't know exactly the team situation. We do know a lot of cars have crashed out, so our teammates could be thinned out down to just 1. And if you're one of those guys that are just driving it by yourself without a teammate, well, Ford versus Ford, or Ford versus Chevy, Ford versus Toyota. You want to partner up with that blue oval. And right now they're doing it 1, 2, and 6 at the moment. Chevrolet's P4 and 5, and a lonesome Toyota sitting there in P3, that being Derek Welch in that TRD Toyota default scheme. Lap 44 headwards to lap 45. And let's do a top 6 recap. I think the graphic's going to say top 10, but as we get close to the halfway mark, we got 6 really to talk about. And there you go. We're just going to have the Nerd TV top 10 right there on the upper right-hand side of your screen. Rodney Roberts from 5th to 1st and has not looked back so far. Derek Runge has been up there in the top 3 the whole time. Started 1st, now he's in 2nd. Derek Welch, one of the biggest movers, from 16th to 3rd. And then we have Jason Steptoe, literally the biggest mover of the night, from 22nd to 4th, so up 18 spots as the driver of the number 50. And then Mike Babinchak, he's from 13th to 5th, so he's up 8 spots in total. And then the last guy in this 6-car pack is going to be Thomas McMullen from 19th to 6th, moved up 13 spots to the driver of the number 02 Krispy Kreme Ford Mustang. And everybody else is looking. Number 11, Ryan Chapman. He's up 5 from his starting spot. Scott Martin in the 67. He's deadlocked, started 8th. Currently P8. They're in the 67. And the last 2 in the top 10, they are only 1 lap down. These guys, these 2 in particular, are looking for that caution. That's Keenan Kibber in the 65. Who's from 21st to 9th. Chase Rockford in the driver of the 71. He's the only guy really down a spot. And he's going to be from 4th to 10th. And that's your TV top 10 recap here as he is kind of rolling, kind of stopping in his pit stall there.
I don't know if he's pulling in there or if he's trying to pit pretty early, but either way, he shot a little under his pit there and had to get rolling again. Not sure what kind of strategy he would be pulling there, pitting by himself. Maybe he had some damage, or he's been sitting there for a little while. Maybe he had some damage that he sustained, or hopefully he didn't, but potentially blew a motor sitting behind somebody for too long. These things, I know, once you get to a certain temperature, it'll warn you for a couple of seconds, and then she will blow up just like that, without really any other warning. There's no sitting there watching the blinking light for a couple of laps. If you see a blinking light, you bail out, regardless of where you're at.
Yeah, Big 10-4 there. We got 3 laps before we're at the halfway mark here. And just Cruising. Still cruising. A lot of space between 5th and 6th place. They're kind of really staggering some things out. A little bit movement here on the back straightaway for once, but that could be just to cool some things off some more as we're going to go to what we call turn up the tude. We're going to turn up the sounds of these ARCA cars. We're going to turn our voices off for just a little, and we'll be right back. And back to full screen here. That was turn up the tude, and we have some green flag pit stops. Everybody came down in that top six minus Mike Babinchak, which he tried to make an effort to stop, and he realized he hit the brakes too late. And now he's going to take his 55 solo around the field one more time to make his green flag pit stop. But everybody else came down, and it looked like it was clean for the most part. They entered in 3 wide. I thought that was a little sketch there, Colt, but they came out nice and clean.
Yeah, it looks like they were coordinated. They were sitting there talking in Discord. I doubt that with that few cars that they were going to be trying to pull any shenanigans, because at this point you need as big a pack as possible. Thomas McMullen falling back just a little bit. I don't know if he blew through his box or took 2 tires. I saw Derek Welch. He blew through his box just a little bit. I mean, Thomas is going to be in trouble. It seems like once you get about 6 to 7 tenths out from the lead car, you will lose the draft, and there's no starting to fade. It's an on-off switch. And yeah, he is way back from that group.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see exactly what this field looks like after everyone makes their pits. There's the 55, Mike Babinchak. We'll see where he turns out. You see the pack right behind him. He's not going to have the draft because he had to hit the brakes quite a bit before he realized, hey, I'm not going to make the pit entrance. So he had to re-throttle back up about a 20 to 30 mile an hour delta between his lowest and highest point. But now we have a top 5 to battle one another without the 6th place car. But you know, that might help some of these other guys that are straggling back. There's a bunch of 2 versus 2 right now. They got Scott Martin at 67. He has Frank Gifford the 54 with him now, as they're gonna cross the start finish line. And then we have just right in front of them Dominic Bettany going to be riding right behind Vincent Short there in the 15, as they're going to pick up the 52 as well. That being Brandon Schumann. So that was kind of a sketch.
Yeah, somebody pulled up a little too late there, trying to Ross Chastain a block. I don't know what maybe he thought that they were going slower than they actually were. I gotta hand it to Vince though, and every time I talk about him, he's wrecked tonight, but he seems like he's in a good spot. But he has gotten torn up. He's had cars land on him. He's ran into the back of wrecks, and he is still out there chipping away, trying to get some points. So good on him for that. Hey, he's got a smile on his face right now.
There's some fun banter going on in this race, Chad. I just saw or heard the 59. Dominic Bettany say, hey, I hope you see the middle finger out the window, 52. And that's probably what kind of put a smile on Vincent's face right there. Now the 52 is on the back bumper of the 59, which, hey, they're drafting the 15, and they giving each other the business down here in the back straightaway. Group of 3, potentially 4 cars as Chapman's starting to close in more. But
Brandon Schumann told him to put that middle finger back on the wheel.
Put it back on the wheel. I don't think Vincent either blinked or took a breath out of his mouth that whole time we had him on camera, as he's just focused on not trying to get wrecked by the 59 and 52 right now.
I don't think Vince has taken a breath since the start of this race. He is very focused once we go green.
As you're looking on the hood camera of the 52, Brandon Schumann is for position with the 59 of Dominic Bettany. And then Scott Martin, Vincent Short, who's right in front of them, is not for this position. It's only the 59 and 52 that are 10 laps down, battling each other for position. And he's just bumping away on this back bumper here, heading off into turn number 3.
Don't push too hard and don't push the pusher. As long as you do that, you're going to start gaining speed. I mean, the lead pack is down to 4 cars as they just shuck him out of line. He must have got too hot, or maybe the 52 got tired of being right behind him. But if all these slower cars, I say slower, if all these spread out cars can get back together, they might be able to start getting a little bit of time on the leaders, because there's only 4 cars in the lead pack right now. It's the 99 Derek Runge, the 9 of Rodney Roberts, 50 of Jason Steptoe, and the 1 of Derek Welch. They're running out of leaders here.
It looks like Thomas McMullen dropped back in the 0-2 to pick up the 55 of Mike Babinchak. So those 2 cars are going to be nose to tail for the next, so on amount of laps as they continue to grind their way through this low point of this race. We have 41 laps to go at the line this time. As they got Ryan Chapman up front. They're going to get a little racy for the race lead here. 99 is going to pass the 67 and the 11. They have to go to the outside to make a pass for the first time. Scatters their line momentarily.
Oh, it left Derek Welch hung out to dry. If he can't get in here, he's going to lose a ton of ground. There he goes.
Able to sneak in as he goes left and right a little bit behind the 50 this time on the back straightaway. But they all get it now. Now it's going to be a mix. 4 cars on the lead lap, 3 not on the lead lap into turn 3 this time.
The 99 and 9 looks like they flipped. I don't know if they meant to do that on pit road, if that was their deal that they had going on. The 99 pushed the 9 early in the race, and now they flipped. Or if that's just how they got through pit road. If Derek Runge got through his stall better, maybe took a little less fuel, got off pit road better. Yeah, they're lined back up now. It could be a Ford agreement they made early on in the race. One would help the other, and then they switch. But at what point, towards the end of this race, does that teammate title go away?
Listen, you got the 2 in the back of this pack too. Ryan Chapman, Scott Martin also in Ford. So that's 4 Ford ovals in this main pack right now. On lap 61, headed off to 62. Dustin made a mention that the admin is the number 1, which Chapman is a Toyota. I had a miscue there. It's the 54 Frank Gifford that's in the Ford. Ryan Chapman is in the Toyota with the number 1 of Derek Welch. So still a total of 4 Fords, 2 Toyotas, and 1 lonely Chevy. Right there sitting P3, that's Jason Steptoe.
Now these front 4 cars, they could line up and they are more than happy to just ride. But what about these 3 lap cars? Only one of them is going to get a free pass if they have a caution, as long as they're not involved in the wreck. How hard are they going to want to push to get back in front of the leaders to race their way back up to the front? Because I don't see these other leaders pitting. They already got their fuel. We're at Daytona. There's no real reason for tires. If they don't get past the leader here, they could be stuck a lap down for the rest of the race, because I don't see getting enough cautions for all of them to get back on the lead lap. So they might need to start pushing and either start racing for the lucky dog or start racing to get their lap back.
As we continue to log laps here, lap 63 underway. 99 still leading the thing. Single file as everybody else goes through here. On the back straightaway, 3 in front. They're going to be swallowed up here in about the next couple of laps. That's the 15, 59, and 52. They do a little swap themselves. There they are coming off of turn number 4. They will be consumed with the main pack. So we'll be back to a 10-car pack, Colts, once these 3 do get gobbled up.
Into double digits. Watching this pack here, it looks like they're running this pack of Vincent Short. It looks like they're running a couple mile an hour shorter. I don't know if that's due to damage to Vincent's car because he's leading the pack, or if it's just a lack of numbers. But I'm curious to see once they get caught, because they'll probably get caught in the next 5 or 6 laps, I would guess, or maybe less than that, seeing them on the same straightaway now. But will this pack fight to stay on the lead lap? That's another question too. The other guys force them to go around on the top. Vincent might not be so inclined to let them by. They might spread out and scatter across the track, forcing that lead pack to slow down. Might shake things up a little bit.
Yep, very well could here. As we're just riding on board. It looks like the 15, Vincent Short, he actually called out on radio, pitting this time. So the driver 15 will be aborting this pack, and I think maybe the 59 and 52 should come down with him to kind of keep things up to speed. We'll find out in about a half lap how this looks at least for the 15.
Couldn't hurt them. They're multiple laps down. I don't know if they've stopped to get fuel yet. But as compared to the leaders, they definitely did, and I believe the second pack did. I didn't pay attention to see if they had pit or not. There goes the 15 now, and he is all by his lonesome.
That's gonna hurt.
Oh, a big lockup there.
He gets down to speed. It's gonna hurt quite a bit there, as he's gonna be looking for someone to make a draft partner out of. as we continue to log these laps here. Currently on lap 66. That means we have 35 laps to go here. We have one more green flag pit stop to come, as long as there's not a yellow flag. And we're going to find that here shortly, as we're going to take probably our last picture-in-picture break. We'll be right back.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy jerky. The original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
full screen here. Lap 72, now coming to lap 73. Derek Runge is your race leader. Rodney Roberts second. Jason Steptoe third. Derek Welch fourth. And Mike Babinchak is your top 5. 6th place is Thomas McMullen. That's your lead lap cars right now, as you got a bunch of cars mixed in here that are multiple laps down. And then you got these 3 guys. There's the 55 and the 02. Those are for position. Then you got the 71 leading the pack. That's Chase Rockford, currently 4 laps down. As they are just, again, ticking laps away. We have one more green flag pit stop for all these drivers. And that's it. Got a little bit of fun times as they're getting around some lap traffic a couple laps ago, but they kind of got that sorted out. And Colton, here they go. We're on lap 74, 27 laps remaining.
Looks like Ryan Chapman might be ready to go. He is, like you said, that one car, 1 lap down. Well, I say that and he ducks back in line. But he looked like he was trying to make some moves and try to work his way back to the front, maybe to unlap himself. There's only 2 cars 1 lap down. So he could have been considering going up there and just lost the momentum and decided to stay back in line and keep his lucky dog spot.
We're kind of just cycling through the field here. They still remain single file here. We saw a couple of guys trying to just have some fun out there, but ultimately they're going to be staying single file as nobody wants to take. You see the 52, he's trying just to do whatever he can. Just have some fun out there. He's 12 laps down. Him and the 59, Dominic Bettany, are only 2, but they're not next to each other right now. So he's just out there having some fun, logging some laps, single file here. The front pack being a little more closer to one another here down the back straightaway. A lot of moving left and right contact almost between the 15 and the 52.
I was about to say he's experimenting with some techniques for Talladega to come up, but man, that's a little extreme, hitting somebody down the backstretch.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he got some practice time. Why not do it? Tired of running single file eventually, so they're gonna be like, you know what? Let's do a little funness. Let's go to the top side, try to utilize some side draft, and then the bottom's like, well, how do we try to break it? So, single file once more. Goes the 52 of Brandon Schumann. 25, now 24 and a half laps remaining now in this race.
And I see what he's doing, and it makes sense. We had done this a little bit in some practice races. Oh, and pushing the pusher. We had seen this in the Cup Series, probably 5 or 6 years ago, the NASCAR Cup Series, where the guys would run around the top in a chain. Well, now they're running around the bottom. Well, the real Cup guys, what they would do is they would draft right up behind somebody, and right as they would enter the corner, they'd dive to the bottom and almost try to perform a slide job at a super speedway. Slide up in front of that person as they got to their left rear quarter panel, it'd pull them back, and they could slot in front of them. Well, with these ARCA cars, there is a way to do that, but in reverse, where you are the outside car. You get to the right rear of that car, which we all know how susceptible these cars are to the right rear. Get there, drag them back a little bit using your momentum, and then try to slot in place. If you can't get a line built up to start moving together and moving as a pack, you got to get places somehow.
Yeah, 100% there. They're still focusing on the race leaders, the 99 and the 9. So there goes the number 1. He's poking his nose out there, but then drops back a little bit. Scott Martin's going to join the 52 of Schumann across the start-finish line here. Scott looking to race a little side by side. These guys are finally done racing single file. A couple of them are like, hey, let's have some fun. And here we go. He's going to try to pass the 54 Frank Gifford just for fun. And it's getting a little more interesting up here than what it has been the past few laps there, Colt.
Yeah, Derek Welch is going to have nightmares of the U.S. Air Force tonight, as he has done nothing but look at that 50 car for the last probably 50 laps. And he's probably getting a little antsy. He's watching the second line build up. Mind you, that is a Toyota leading that second line. And even though they're lap cars, they might still have a little bit of speed, but it looks like they shut the door on them. Oh, and they are getting wobbly in the tri-oval.
Got Scott moves down after going up against the outside wall there, following the 52, and then the 11 of Ryan Chapman follows suit there still. 3 on the top, 6 on the bottom here, well 7 on the bottom really, off of turn number 2, 21.5 laps to go. The fuel window is open. Did they come down early or did they run it all the way to empty?
I think they're starting to get antsy. They might start relying on that caution coming up. You see Jason Septo, he's thinking about it. He's kind of come up about half a lane 2 or 3 times. Like, he wants to go to that outside line, but he just can't commit to it. And every time he does, Derek Welch gives him a nice little shove at the exit of the corner, or the exit of the straightaway as they get to it. Letting him know, like, hey buddy, make a decision. Don't sit here and try to decide what you want to do. Super Speedway racing is all about making split-second decisions and no hesitation. And he hesitates too much. Derek Welch is going to make that decision for him. He might jump out of line. Side draft in the 67.
Yeah, could see that. It's still getting more and more interesting here as we got 20 laps to go at the line this time around. Scott trying everything to propel the 52 forward. Scott is currently up. Here we go. Here's the pit stops. 4 down this time. 99, 9, 50, and the 1. They all make it to speed.
Saved it.
Great job there on that pit entrance. 4 cars on pit road.
I feel like that one was a little less coordinated. You had the 50 locking up heavily, as well as the 65 making contact with somebody to his outside. Very nearly spun down in front of the slowing leaders. That could have been catastrophic for them. But the leaders making their final pit stop, likely just the minimum amount of fuel to get going. They'll start rolling. And I'm curious to see where Thomas McMullen and Mike Babinchek are when they are planning on pitting. For them, it would be best, well, as I say that, they're on pit road right now. I was about to say for them, it might be best to run it out and hope for a caution. But unfortunately, they could not.
Well, they're going to take full fuel, maybe 2 tires at most, probably not even that. And they're going to set sail onto the track for the final time. We'll see how they file through. They only gave up just that 1 lap difference, so they should all still be able to reach out back to one another and have that continuation of a bigger pack, which we'll figure that out here in about the next half lap to maybe 3/4 of one.
It looks like we had a change for the lead. Derek Runge is way out there. Did he miss his box?
Well, he's got him and the number 9, Rodney Roberts. They are for position for first and second. You see him right there on the top half of your screen. Right now we're looking at Derek Welch. Yeah, who is in the race lead, but 2.5 seconds. Let's go take a quick look. And no, he pitted with the first 4 drivers in total, but he had like a stop and go. Very short pit stops. I don't know if he got enough fuel in that car.
He likely just stopped and got the minimum amount of fuel he could get, whether it be through the crew chief software or the auto fuel that iRacing provides, trying to get out ahead. But it looks like he got too big of a lead in the 9, the 99, and the 50. Got a head of steam, and he's just going to let them go right back by. There's no reason to try to block them right now. Cause a big pile up, wreck yourself this close to the end. But he's got to stay with them. He's pretty far back there.
18 laps remaining here in the ProSim Racing Alliance opening race for the fixed ARCA series. You're looking at the race for the race lead right now. 99 of Grunge, 9 of Roberts, 50 of Steptoe, 1 of Derek, and 02 of Thomas McMullen. There's your top 3, all within the same frame, as the one is falling off that main draft pack.
I was just about to say, unless he can get to the 11 and push him back to the pack, he just lost the draft. And that strategy to get out in front of everybody, it worked there for a second, but it bit him in the butt really quickly.
We're still looking on here. About this time, Cole, is where we might start to see the shifting in position. We know side draft is great, 2-on-1. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough for the 50 at step toe. He's got the 2 Fords in front of him. And that's it. He's got no alliance that you talked about earlier in this race. If he goes to step out to try to make a move, he's not going to make it work. So he's got to be sweet-talking one of these guys. He's got to catch a caution. Maybe he can utilize his 55 here. And Mike Babinchak, who is not going to go 1 lap down. Maybe he'll play into the part of this, as now it's 2-1-2 if the 55 can hold on.
But there's only 3 cars in the pack here. I think this is his best time to start experimenting. He's got 16 coming to 15 laps to go. This is when he really needs to start seeing how he can get by these guys, because as you said, that's 2 Fords. They are not gonna let a Chevy win this race. He's gonna have to go out there and earn it. So he needs to start trying to poke his nose up underneath the 9 every chance he gets. Get in that mirror, get in his head. As they're coming out of the corner, take that slingshot, get to the right rear. As it looked like he was about to do, but then he backed out of it. Get to that right rear and drag the 9 back. Just see what it can do. Because if he drags the 9 back far enough, that's going to push the 99 out way ahead. He gets back up to him and starts pushing him. It's going to slingshot the 9 and the 50 around the 99 and force the 99 all the way to the back of that pack. He moves up 1 spot. He's not to the lead, but better than 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely. There, the 55 was unable to maintain, but he also grabbed the 71 of Chase Rockford, who's 5 laps down, so maybe them can just squeak in somehow into the top 3 to make this race a little more interesting. 15 laps remaining now, coming up to 14 laps to go. Does the 9, or actually, let me ask you this, Colt. Being in the 9's shoes right now, he's P2, he has all the control on when he wants to make the move. Do you try it at the beginning of 1 lap to go? Do you try it off of turn 4? Do you try it after turn 4 exit? Where do you think is the best move to go for the win right now in his spot with 3 cars?
I think his best chance is he needs to work on locking bumpers with the 99, preferably out of turn 2, shove him all the way down the backstretch, and then either slingshot to the outside in 3 and 4, or try to push him all the way through 3 and 4 and slingshot around the outside there and make his run to the finish and just pray that the 50 goes with him.
Gonna need a decent amount of praying if he's gonna want that 50 car to go with him. Who knows, maybe he's tired of having the 99 of Derek Runge leading so many laps here tonight. Just virtue of them just taking it easy. As they go around the 52 here, he's going to dip down and try to get some draft to 0-2. Thomas McMullen has caught the tail end of this draft. So the 0-2 will play a factor in this race overall.
Finally succumbed to going a lap down, but he got back with the draft. And they might be able to push their way back up to a 5-car pack. And I'm curious to see if Thomas is going to want to push the issue to get his lap back the hard way and try to, like I mentioned earlier, try to have the first chance of getting back to a position to win this race, because there's only 3 cars racing for the lead right now, but they still can make mistakes. These are still solid objects. They can still collide, and going for the win, a win's a win, whether it's 3 cars racing for the lead or 35 cars racing for the lead. And he's caught the draft back up. He might start kind of toying around with that and see what he can do.
Back straight away here. 12,
you see
no,
the
11
9
and a half
shove.
laps to go. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You see the 9 shoving the 99, locking bumpers about halfway down the backstretch. That's what he's going to need to do if he wants to have any advantage, because there is a way, if you have a 3rd car pushing you, you will pierce the bubble of the car ahead of you. And if you can lock bumpers with him, you can't tandem, like in the true sense of the word, but you can gain a crazy amount of speed, and you can push someone out there a good 5 or 6 car lengths, enough to disrupt the draft as they will come back to you. Maybe enough that you can jump out of line, and you'll be the one carrying momentum. It's likely the line will follow you. But that's what he's got to work on. He's got to square up. He's got to time his run as they come to the flat of the track, of the backstretch. Lock onto the 99. You see him gave him a pretty good shot there. And, I mean, he gains a little bit of ground on the 50, but he's not quite shoving him hard enough. He's not pushing him. He's not locking onto him the way he needs to. to make any ground up. And I mean, he could be saving. That is very likely. But he's really going to need to start working on something. The 50 of Jason Steptoe, he's going to need to start backing up to the 02 of Thomas McMullen. Try to start generating some runs that way. Try to get the 02 back behind him so he can get to the 9 and start trying to side draft, get to the outside. You can run side by side pretty easily. They're right now just choosing not to.
Yeah, I was going to ask a question too about the 9 pushing the 99. When you got just a handful of laps now left to go here, do you want to just have your car as cool as possible so if you need to have an escape route, you can lock onto someone temporarily and not have to worry about blowing up? Or do you just not care and max effort here until the rest of the race?
If they were in a bigger pack, I would see him trying to keep it cool every chance he gets, poking that radiator out every chance he can. But right now with this few cars, he can just kind of get his nose out every almost couple of laps, honestly, and cool it back down. Obviously, you need to have the car as cool as possible to push for as long as possible. The hotter your car gets, the less effective it is in the draft, and the sooner it's going to blow up. But right now, I think you gotta make your moves. Oh, Derek Runge way to the top, and the 9 went with him. Interesting decision making here, but the 9 backs up to the 50, Jason Steptoe.
Yeah, they're maybe starting to make some moves, but you know, we're gonna learn a lot here about these drivers and how much patience they have when you see 4 or 5 laps to go. If you're the 50, if you're the 0, or if you're the 50, yeah, you're like, I gotta get to the front now. Maybe I can grab on with one of these guys that are behind me. Maybe Thomas McMullen of the 02 is like, hey, I'm 1 lap down. What if I race my way the hard way and get into the front of this little pack and maybe catch a caution? Get myself set up for the best case scenario. So a couple different things that could be happening in this race as we have 7.5 laps to go on the back straightaway. 50 poking his nose just a touch. Not looking, maybe just to cool the thing off, but we're still waiting for the first pass effort here with this under 10 laps to go racing.
I was watching Thomas McMullen. Oh, the 9 slips off the track a little bit. I was watching Thomas McMullen that last lap. Every time Jason Steptoe faded up, Thomas went with him. And there was a couple occasions where Jason would drop back into line, and Thomas would keep his nose out there. I feel like that's him telling him, if you go, I will go with you. These guys have to communicate, and sometimes they have to communicate non-verbally to not let the other guys, the 9 and the 99 specifically, of Runge and Roberts, let them know, or not let them know, that they're thinking about making a move. And so Thomas could have had a, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I push you to the lead, you let me by and get my lap back. At this point, you've got to make your friends where you find them, regardless of manufacturer. Except for the 9 and 99, Runge and Roberts. They're both Fords, and I mean, Runge jumped way out of line there. I don't know if he was trying to let the 99 cool off, if he saw something that spooked him, but Roberts stuck with him, and the 50 had nowhere to go. I mean, if he'd have jumped out of line there to try to make that pass, and the 9 stuck with the 99, didn't lose momentum, 50's going straight to the back.
Under 6 laps remaining here in the inaugural race here for the ProSim Racing Alliance Fixed ARCA Series. Still waiting for that first legit move to make a pass effort here. The 50 has a lot of things that he could do. What strategy does he pull to try to get himself the race win? Coming off of turn 4. We're going to get the 5 laps to go signal this time. Still staying single file here. Top 3 in line. 4th and 5th are lap down or more. But we're going to cycle through another pack here as they've kind of grouped up 6 cars, led by the number 1 of Derek Welch. Himself and Scott Martin have got a 6-car string themselves. Again, just single file. No motion to be had.
Yeah, DW is leading the pack. He's just leading the wrong one. He lost the draft from that strategy call he made there. And, I mean, running single file, that's the fastest you're going to go. If you start getting double file, you're going to lose time. And unfortunately, in their case, they can't make a move. And really, most of them aren't even racing for any position. If they swap places around, it's not going to change where they are on the scoreboard. It's not going to change how many points they get at the end of the day. So I think DW is going to be pretty frustrated at what happened on pit road, regardless of what it was. Maybe he made too good of a pit stop. Maybe he'd be frustrated at the just letting the pack by. Maybe he could have tried to zig and zag a little bit. But I mean, he's kind of just sitting there right now, unless a caution comes out. And man, it would be crazy for a caution to come out for these the three leaders, because all three of them have a guaranteed podium. All three of them have a guaranteed interview at the end of the race and guaranteed points. So why would they want to push too hard except on the last lap? They're all in a really unique and tough position.
Crossing the line here. We're going to get 3 laps to go. Under 10 miles left in this race. Still single file here. Waiting for Jason Steptoe to make a move. Or maybe the 9 surprises us and Rodney tries to take the checker flag P1. 2.5 laps to go. Back straight away here. A little movement to the outside. Back to the inside. Toying with eyes. Seeing who wants to take the bait. Who wants to go to the top. The 9 got a half a nose up there. But ultimately, it still goes single file off of turn 4. Going to be 5 miles left in this race.
And if Jason Steptoe is still trying to push to win this race, and we're all race car drivers, we know we're going to always try to win the race. That's such a helpless feeling for him, not being able to make a move right now. He's got to figure something out. He's got to lag back to the 02 and get a run on the 9. Sticking with the 9 is not going to get him a win tonight. He's got to figure out something else. Otherwise, he's just going to be sitting there and getting the bronze trophy. Oh, he does step out of line there a little bit. But he's still clear.
He's looking and no movement from the 9. We're about to find out here as we're about to get our 1 lap to go for the PSRA Thick Series event here at Daytona. Here we go. Waiting for the move. Who's going to do what? 99's been leading 2/3 of this race plus. Does Rodney steal it? Or does Derek go sweeping? Starts from P1 to potentially finish in P1 here off of turn 2. This is where a lot of moves are made in the real world. Does anybody shuffle out? Does not look like it at this time. Colt, they're going to go off into turn number 3. It looks like the move will happen in turn 4.
If Steptoe wants to win this race, he's got to have momentum now, and he lost it a little bit. The 9 of Rodney Roberts still has a chance to get to him. Which way does he go? Does he go top or bottom? Or does he push his teammate to the win? Oh,
No movement at all as Derek Runge going to take the single file victory here tonight, leading majority of the laps, gets the qualifying spot P1, gets the race spot P1, gets the trophy. Derek Runge is basically going to sweep tonight here at Daytona. Colt, are we surprised there was no movement there in that top 3? Not a single pass effort was made.
I don't know. Clearly the 9 and 99 are teammates, they're going to push each other. But I mean, the rules that we have at our team are push each other to the win, but race for the win. Like, as long as you don't wreck each other, go for it. And I don't see at what point Roberts, like, what he was gaining just pushing the 99, other than rapport with other drivers and a point stay. The 50th Steptoe, I mean, he was in a no-win situation there. He would have had to back up to the 02. I don't know how closely aligned the 02 is to the 9 and the 99, whether he would have pushed him or not. But when the 50 stepped out of line there for a minute, the 02 was with them. And I think had he have planned his run a little bit better, he could have had a chance to go up there. And I think he was just relying on the 9 making a move, and he didn't.
Yep. And here we go. We're going to give up our unofficial results here for tonight's race. Derek Runge, P1. Rodney Roberts, 2nd. Jason Steptoe, 3rd. Derek Welch, 4th. Thomas McMullen, 5th. Mike Babinchat, 6th. Ryan Chapman, 7th. Scott Martin, 8th. Chase Rockford, 9th. Keenan Kimber, top 10. Frank Gifford, 11th. Vincent Short 12th, Brandon Schumann 13th, Dominic Bettany in P14, and then everybody else did not finish this race. That'll be Thomas Panel, David Bradford, Alan DeFries, Bobby Hamilton Jr., James Polsky, Peyton Wagner, James Benge, and Aaron Longworth. Rounds out the 22 card field here tonight. We're going to go full screen, see if we get our top three. We'll be right back. And welcome to the post-race show presented by Victory Fuel here, and we got our top three gathered up. We're going to bring them in one at a time. Jason Steptoe, driver the number 50, brings it home P3 tonight. Jason, what a
Yes, sir.
what a small field there to finish this thing out. Third place. Did you feel like you're a little outnumbered there with the two Fords versus the Chevrolet?
Yeah, a little bit. Funny enough, the 9 is actually my teammate, so we were just kind of all working together there, all at the end. But I will be honest with you, I was kind of surprised the calamity that ensued early. I mean, I started 22nd and managed to get a podium finish. So hopefully we can take this momentum and translate it to the rest of the season.
Yeah. How'd you feel like the race was in the beginning of or the racing rather in the beginning of this race? It as soon as we got 3 wide, we saw a wreck, and then we got back going, and then I was like, okay, they're going to keep it calm, and it seemed like the ARCA cars are just moving around quite a bit out there. What was your take on it?
Yeah, they're really unstable when we get 2x2 and 3-4 rows back like that, especially when you're further in the pack. These things like to move a whole lot more than what people kind of realize. So those things do happen. I just wish that at the beginning of the race that we kind of calmed down a little bit. I mean, it's 100 laps, and so we were just kind of. I feel like a lot of us were trying to win it on lap 4, but we're all just trying to get used to this new car. So hopefully, the next super speedway will all be a little bit better. So make it a little better race for you guys to call. So.
Yeah, 10-4 on that, man. Congrats on P3 though. Highest mover, 19 spots earned from 22nd to 3rd. Any shouts before I let you go?
Yes, sir. I just want to thank my team, Backward Bandits, owner Rodney Roberts, my other teammate Aaron Longworth. I think he got taken out early, unfortunately. And then just a couple other buddies, Dominic Bettini, Keenan Kimber. Shout out to Derek for winning the race, and hopefully we can all have good runs next week. So.
All right, guys. That was Jason Steptoe, driver the number 50. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll catch you soon. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then let's see if we can grab second place finisher, Mr. Rodney Colt. Do you have interviews for the second place finisher here tonight? Colt's got his mic muted. We're going to take this over. Rodney, congratulations on P2, man. The racing, it happened all early. What happened out there?
We were just having fun out there. Just a bunch of good guys, teammates up front, and we worked really well together.
Now, it seemed like you guys wanted to just kind of ride in line. There was no movements for the pass, for the race win, or anything like that. Was that the goal whenever you three were just there, just chilling with about 15 laps to go? Kind of had to settle in on who was going to win this thing?
I kind of wanted to make a move, but just coming out of four and the run died on me, and couldn't really get there in time. Which I'm fine with just finishing second. At least a teammate won. Uh, Teammates just top three and everything else. So it was a good day for us, and hopefully we can carry it on to the next week and all of that.
Yes, sir. Hopefully you get to do so, and maybe we'll talk to you next week. Any shouts before we let you go?
Oh yeah, the Backwood Bandit Racing. Me and I know a couple of other guys on my team got taken out. Aaron Longworth and Keenan Kimber and Dominic Bettini. We all work really well together, and hopefully next week we can block out the first 5 or 6 spots.
Yeah, for man. We'll get to it. We'll see you next week, and maybe we'll be talking to you then.
Sounds good, man. Y'all have a good.
You too. There's Rodney Rogers, driver the number 9, and now to load up victory lane here, we're gonna bring in our race winner, the guy who led the most laps, the guy who qualified first, all of it in the 99, Derek Runch. Congratulations, dude.
Thank you, thank you.
Started P1, you had to avoid the early big ones, which being up front will do that just right for you. So just kind of walk us through your night.
Yeah, it's kind of well, I managed to get the pole and was kind of just hanging out. It was at the start of the race. It kind of single filed out behind me, and so kind of felt like we were just gonna settle in there, and then just every 5 laps seemed like there for a little bit we were just kept getting yellows, and it kind of slimmed the field down real fast. So after that, there just really weren't too many cars that were on the lead lap or that had pace yet to keep up, and as the night went, just kept getting fewer and fewer and fewer. And then at the end there, I was kind of ready for the guys behind to start making some moves, but they just mistimed the run and never could get back up when they went to go for it finally. So, but it was a good race altogether.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. Cole Ainsley, do you got anything for your race winner tonight?
Yeah, just congratulations, Derek, coming into the league and winning the inaugural race. That's definitely going to be good for all the team owners up in the Open Series. They're going to have their eyes on you, and hopefully you can carry that momentum into the rest of the season. I think you'll be doing pretty good this season. You were very much in command tonight, so congratulations on winning the season opener.
Thank you, sir. I look forward to it. I was actually only a few hours before a race. I wasn't even planning to run this one, but I got talked into it, and it was kind of a good deal. So I look forward to the rest of the season with the guys, and hope the first race just didn't scare them away. So
All right, man. Well, congratulations. Awesome job. Any last little bit of shout outs before we let you go?
yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody over at the ProSim, and Bobby, David, all them, Frank for putting on the fixed here, you guys for doing the broadcast. I know it was probably a little bit lackluster tonight with the lack of cars, but hopefully there's some spice in there somewhere. But and then just all the guys at West Lenore. Can't remember the other team name. And then yeah, that's about it.
There you go. Race winner, Derek Runge, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, there's your top 3 there for the opening race for the PSRA Fixed ARCA Series. We got some learning done there, Colt. We learned how these cars draft. We learned what wrecks do with no fast repairs, and now we're moving on to next week.
I was about to say we more importantly learned what not to do. Hopefully these guys will iron it out. I think a lot of it was just some first race jitters, new guys that they've never raced around. Some of them they've never raced around, and just some honest, genuine mistakes by veterans. You know, maybe got a little too comfortable and got a little lackluster there at the end. You know, with as few cars we had running, but you know, like Derek said, that hopefully it will we'll have a good car count for the next race. I think once we get into some driver tracks, let these guys really show off their skill. I know a lot of these guys that have raced around, whether they're new in the league or have been around for a while, really good racers. And once they kind of get out of the air and kind of can use the mechanical grip that these cars can produce, they'll put on a pretty good show.
Yeah, big 10-4 on that, man. Well, thanks for joining into the Nerd TV booth. First race down. We got plenty to go here for the PSRA ARCA Fix series, but hope you guys enjoyed for what broadcast we brought you here tonight. We're going to close this thing out. You guys, we're off this weekend. We're not going to be live until Wednesday for the OP Butt Kicker Grand National Series on Nerd TV. Then next Thursday here for PSRA one more time. So you guys, stay safe. Get your nerd on. Happy Memorial Day. We'll see you guys then.
Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue, we fell into play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter, there were times when there was joy, but they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. All that I Back when nothing truly